30 seconds. Meeting is called to order at 6 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. We are being broadcast live on Van Buren Channel 12. We're also on YouTube. And can we begin with the roll? Clerk, can you call the roll? Yep. It goes at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Trustee Boyne. Here. Trustee Miller.
Here.
Trustee Martin. Here. Trustee Frazier. Here. Treasurer Bud.
Here.
Supervisor.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Executive summary. Executive summary. We have a consent agenda. In it, we have a personal service contract for Casey Schmetke. We also have a post-employee. We also have a yearly thing we do for our post-employment medical expense reimbursement plan with our employees. We have an approval of an agreement between Van Buren Township and the Greenbrier HOA, which the board approved at its last meeting. Today, they're just going to sign it in the consent agenda. We also have approval and appointment of Priya Nayak to the LDFA with the term to expire at the August of this year. We also have Jill Yob, which we're appointing to the Environmental Commission. Jill Yob will serve until 23. We have later on we're going to have a presentation and a swearing in of our trustee, Reggie Miller, who is our state representative-elect. We're very proud of her. New business today will include an agreement with Growth Works Incorporated. They'll be doing a youth diversion program for the township. We're also going to have an agreement with the Van Buren Public School System to provide a school resource officer to the school system. We're also going to be doing public service, personal service agreements with some of our employees, Tammy Doreen and Ann Duncan, who would be a new employee. We'll have also some restoration work that we want to do to one of our fire trucks, a 2008 fire truck. And we're going to be having a second reading of an ordinance to rezone a parcel of property that is on Ecorse Road. We also have after that, we're going to be asking the board to approve us going out looking for money for French Landing Park, a new access dock, a new kayak launch, and also money to go after a new park beach. We want to fix up the beach at the Van Buren Park. That's it. Yes.
Just one correction on item 11 on the consent agenda. It says term to expire August 12, 2022. It should probably be say 2023. August 22 is already passed.
You're right. Make the correction. Clerk, Deputy Clerk Blurgy. Okay, thank you. All right. Can I get a motion for adoption of the agenda?
I'll make a motion for the adoption of the agenda.
Support.
I got support. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Martin, I think it's your turn for the adoption of the consent agenda, if you'd like it.
My turn.
We actually go in order. You want to do it?
Through the chair.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'd like to make the motion
Okay.
to the adoption of the agenda. The consent agenda which consists of work study minute of November 15, 2022, closed session minutes of November 15, 2022, board minutes of November 15, 2022, prepaid list of November 17th, 2022, prepaid list of November 23rd, 2022, prepaid list of December 1st, 2022, the voucher list of December 6th, 2022, approval of Casey Smith personal service agreement, approval of the post-employment medical expense reimbursement plan, approval of a memorandum of understanding between the Charter Township of Van Buren and the Greenbrier Homeowners Association regarding a road improvement project, approval of the appointment of Priya Nayak, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Close
Priya
enough.
Nayak. Yep.
To the LDFA with a term to expire August 12th, 2026. Approval of appointment of Gio Yop, that's correct? Yop,
Yes, yeah.
to the Environmental Commission with a term to expire October 1st, 2023.
Okay, got support by trustee Boynton. Hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. We've moved now to public hearing. We have we have none today. We now go to correspondence, announcements, and presentations. Does anybody have any correspondence, announcements, and presentations before we have some? I think I have one. There it is. To the public, we are putting out a survey right now. In July of 2023, Van Buren Township's agreement with Waste Management for free curbside pickup of trash, recycling, and yard waste will be expired. Under our current agreement, Waste Management will continue to pay the costs of disposal for trash and yard waste. The township, however, will be bidding out pickup and is seeking feedback from the community regarding their preferences and opinions about these services. To take the survey, please go to vanburenmichigan.org. Hard copies of the survey are at the Van Buren Township Hall. The survey closes December 31st. Other than that, I've got I'd like to make a presentation to our would you like to help me? So right now, we're going to do a swearing in, an honorary swearing in, which quite frankly is, I used to have that done and I found out that sometimes those count. So this could be the real thing for all you know. It is, yeah. We're very, I'm touched that you guys are you're doing it here. I'm really happy that you're doing that. We're gonna miss you.
Where else would I do it? This is
Yeah,
home.
yeah. So we have a presentation that the board's put together. It's a proclamation. And I'm going to read it, and you probably all know how much I love reading these kinds of things, but we don't have one of our own leave us like this very often. So this is a proclamation by the board that Reggie Miller has began her career in public service in Van Buren Township as a trustee in November 9th of 2012. Ms. Reggie Miller donated her entire first-year salary as a trustee back to the township. Reggie Miller has made efforts all along to mitigate the impact of the opioid epidemic within the community by raising opioid awareness, fighting to end the stigma associated with addiction, and promoting recovery by forming a partnership with Wayne County Community College District and the Detroit Integrated Health Network, and also GrowthWorks, by spearheading a public opioid awareness and Narcan training forum, with the keynote speaker being Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, and originating the proclamation for National Recovery Month for mental and substance use disorder that promotes treatment and recovery services to achieve and sustain long-term recovery. Reggie Miller initiated and maintained an active role in integrating a strategic plan to move the township forward and has been a proactive advocate for bringing new businesses to the township. Reggie Miller has championed providing premier recreational amenities for the families of Van Buren Township through her tenure as trustee in numerous ways, such as bringing forward a feasibility study for a community center that demonstrated a public need for the facility that led to approval for the building of the Van Buren Community Center in the summer of 2022. She's also was part of building the biggest splash pad in Wayne County for local youth in 2020 and relaunching the summer concert series and safety enhancements to the Iron Bell Trail. Reggie Miller has been dedicated to the community initiatives such as successfully campaigning for the passage of the 2016 Public Safety Millage and its 2020 renewal, the library millage in 2016, advocating for local repairs and reducing the number of power outages in the area, and the remodeling updates to the Township Hall and signage upgrades throughout the township. Reggie Miller has been committed to providing community resources and social services to the residents of Van Buren Township through various activities, especially during the 2020 pandemic, in which she secured a $20,000 grant from the United Way to distribute food to residents experiencing food insecurity. She also got a $5,000 grant from Enbridge to stock local food banks and has continued to initiate food collection donations. Reggie Miller has been instrumental in developing unity among the Board of Trustees, which has led to the board being a more cohesive and productive unit, and helped draft and implement a revised Board of Trustees Code of Conduct. Reggie Miller has forged positive working relationships between the tri-community leaders of the city of Belleville, Sumter, and Van Buren, as well as within Belleville Public Schools and other Wayne County elected officials. Reggie Miller has a reputation for being responsible, fiscal planning, adherence to following proper policy processes and practices, and the principles of honor, duty, and public services. Reggie Miller pursued state legislative office in the 2022 general election to serve Van Buren Township and the regional communities. As Michigan State Representative for the newly formed 31st District, representing northwestern townships of Monroe County and northeastern townships of Lenawee County, Augusta Township, Belleville, Milan, Sumter, Van Buren, Romulus, the area of Wayne County, and part of New York and Washtenaw County. She won in a landslide victory. On this 6th day of December, the Van Buren Township Board of Trustees hereby recognize the achievements of Reggie Miller and commend her 10 years of dedicated public service to the citizens of Van Buren Township and wish her the greatest of luck in her future endeavors as Michigan State Representative, District 31. I think we should, yeah.
Here, here.
Here, here. Driving here tonight was the hardest thing I've had to do in a long time. I have spent the last few days in Lansing, and I knew that tonight was going to be my last board meeting. Everything that I was able to do was because of all of you in this board and the support that I've gotten. So it's bittersweet tonight, but I promise you, I'll take that passion and the drive that I had as township trustee and do the same for all of you in Lansing. You're all my friends, and I will miss you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
You want to go up front here, or?
However you want to do this.
Let's go up front here. Let me, and then, I want pictures with everybody, but I got to swear her in first. In fact, if they could get behind those chairs, right behind us while we do the swearing in.
Come over here, guys.
Yeah, it's over here, the proclamation.
Oh, yeah. Okay, what is?
Jerry's.
Oh, look at that.
How's that? Talk about nice, huh? We'll do this. When I saw this, I thought,
Look at
okay, yeah, they hang these on their wall. It's gonna be a big wall.
I want a picture of my board to be
I think she has to get a new house.
All right. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear, do you, Reggie Miller, or I, Reggie Miller,
I, Reggie Miller,
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Michigan State Representative, District 31,
in the office of State Representative in District 31,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Yay.
You're almost as tall as I am.
Yeah.
back here.
We're back again. We're back again.
That 10 years was a blink of an eye.
Set it in front of the podium.
He's a glutton for punishment. Hear that? You're a glutton for
I guess I am. Said I wouldn't cry, and I wouldn't even wear waterproof mascara because I can't cry.
All right, sorry.
you.
Does anybody else on the board want to have anything to say?
I'd
Yep.
just like to say it's been an honor and a privilege to serve with such a dedicated trustee, and she's going to do a great job for us in Lansing. I know.
Thank you.
I just like to say, I think, you came on, what, 2012?
Yes.
And right away, I mean, I saw that the work that you do was going to be fair and honest for the people. I appreciate the camaraderie that we've had, the friendship that we obtained over the years, the conversation that we've had, and the support that I get from you. I appreciate that, and hopefully we can continue the conversations. I wish you all the best in your endeavors. I know you'll do well. I told you in the beginning. I knew you was going to be elected. So kudos. Thanks for the time that we spent together.
I remember the conversation I had with you. You said, Reggie, you need to have confidence in yourself. And that stuck with me through the years. And Kevin, I remember you telling me the only one that's going to put you in that chair as state representative is you.
Yes, it worked.
Thank you.
Through the chair. Just to say, Reggie, it's been my pleasure to sit here on the board with you. As you know, I don't like goodbyes, so I'm going to say we'll see you again and make sure you know where we are. And you're always welcome to come back and join us.
And I will.
Thank you so much.
I'll just be in a different capacity, but
Yep.
I'll be close to all of you. Thank you.
Chair.
Trustee Martin?
Trustee Miller, Reggie, thank you so much for your service to, not only to the entire township, but to this board. You have been a guiding force for us over the years. For me especially, I have talked to you a lot of times and have listened to your advice and to your, your wisdom about things and how things work. And I know that you will work hard in Lansing because you worked hard here and you're a hard worker, and that's what you do. And I appreciate our time, and we're not going anywhere. Trust me, I'll be bugging you in Lansing.
Keep me in your phones.
So much so for your service.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll keep you in our prayers. You'll need them. No.
Boynton?
Here. Reggie Miller. You know I don't like to say a whole lot, and I don't speak a whole lot. Yeah, really. And I do pick up the phone to give you a call. You know I'm not going to waste your time. I will always be that silent, supportive wind that you will always need. So if you have a need, give me a call. If I have a need, I'm going to give you a call. You're going to be fabulous in Lansing, and they had better watch what they do.
Amen to that.
But to be reckoned with. Congratulations,
Thank you.
and I thank you.
Yes.
I work for all of you.
You do a great job.
I'm here.
And we still have
Possible
not found a single solitary state representative that ever got from Van Buren Township, so congratulations, our first. Right.
Backyard.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a relationship with a state representative that knows our problems, and yeah, thank you. Glad you're gonna be there.
Thank you. Back to the agenda.
All right, we're moving on. We're into the public comment for the public now. Is anybody from the public that wishes to speak? Mr. Selman?
We have attendees, but I don't have any public comments or virtual hands raised at the time.
All right. Unfinished business we have now, we're moving into new business. First item is the discussion on and to consider approval of entering into a memorandum of understanding between the Charter Township of Van Buren and Growth Works to administer our youth diversion programs. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the memorandum between the township and Growth Works.
Support.
Okay, who's going to be speaking on this one? See Growth Works here, right? Come on up. Good to see you guys.
Good evening, Board, and congratulations, Trustee Miller.
Oh, thank you.
I just want to thank you for considering this MOU between the Charter Township of Van Buren and GrowthWorks, who is going to administer this youth diversion program. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for the juveniles in our community. Reiners from GrowthWorks is gracious enough to come and kind of explain a little bit about what the program entails and answer any questions that you may have. So with that, I'll turn this over to Laura.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This program is really important to all youth that are in the community. I think, as you all know, that it's becoming harder and harder for kids in our community. There's so many more opportunities, unfortunately, to get into trouble, to go down the wrong path. And that's why this program is so important, because we can start to work with kids as early as age 11, that key age from 11 to 17, some of these early offenses. And really what it does is it gives kids the tools that they need to be successful. And that's really what we want to do. And also what's really important about this program, it's no cost to families, all Wayne County residents. This program is already available just by the nature of the funding. But what this relationship does, now that we're entering into with the Charter Township of Van Buren, is it makes it that much easier for kids and families to be able to access this. Working with the police department, the school resource officers, that's what's really going to make this program successful, is because they see the kids, they see them on a day-to-day basis, they know the ones that are struggling. So this gets kids very early on, really that at-risk and prevention program. So hopefully it gets some of these kids back on the right path and they don't see us for some of our higher level services. So we're so grateful for this opportunity. We hope that this can be a model really for some of the other surrounding communities here near in this area, part of the Conference of Western Wayne, because we want to make sure that every resident in Wayne County, especially the Conference of Western Wayne, which we specifically serve, can access these. And it's great for kids that are struggling with substance use, because those of you that know GrowthWorks, that really is at the heart of what we do. But it's really for a lot of kids that just need some additional life skills. So some of those kids that are getting into trouble, truant from schools, this is the perfect program for them. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for trusting your community with GrowthWorks. And we look forward to being able to come back at a future date and showing you the impact that this program has had on the community.
Does anybody have any questions?
Just want to say thank you for your participation on our youth part. It's a very important program and we support it.
Thank you very much.
Are you running this program out of the town, out of Romulus's courthouse?
To be able to do that, it's all just going to depend on the volumes that we see from the program, but from what we've had so far in the conversations, I don't foresee that being an issue. And that's the model that's best, is when we can offer it closest to the community. So we look forward to being able to bring this really close to the residents.
Good.
Through the chair, if I may, will mental health services be offered?
So the way
At
how
what
we do
age?
that, so say that one more time.
What age?
So this program is available for kids 11 to 17, this specific program. There are other GrowthWorks services. And what they do, anytime a kid is referred to the program, they do a thorough assessment. So the kid may come to GrowthWorks for being truant from school, vaping, a number of other offenses, but they do a thorough assessment in the beginning, because as many of you know, those are usually just the calls for help. Frequently, there are other services that are needed. So in addition to this program, we can also connect them with other mental health resources that are either a part of the program or that GrowthWorks might be able to refer them out to.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm going to tell you how important this is, because we used to have to send our kids downtown. And so They go downtown, and then they wait 6 months before they get a court date. They go down there, and the judges are so busy that they end up giving them a piece of paper, sign this and give us $50 and go away, and they don't take an assessment. And that truancy was because they were a year into drugs or into mental health issues. Then they get in trouble again. They wait 6 more months to go downtown. Then they get the assessment. Now they're into this stuff for 2 years. In this way, we can stop them literally within weeks, or at least know about the problem within weeks instead of waiting 2 years down the road. And I can't remember what the success rate of this program was, but about 4 or 5 years ago, what is it?
80 to 90%, and that's only because the definition of how we use success, sometimes that's a little bit in contrast with how Wayne County does it, but at 80 to 90%.
And what's the success rate of, I believe it's 20% is the usual recidivism rate for.
At least.
So it goes from 20% to 80%. These kids don't recidivism. Is that the word?
Do it again.
Like, one more comment that I will say, because you're right, when a typical referral, any of these instances, if there isn't a youth assistance program in place, it is referred downtown. If anything is done, it usually takes 8 to 9 months. And I'll tell you guys, for my kids, if I wait 9 months to give any kind of a consequence for things, it's not going to mean anything. So this is also, it's very practical, it's in the moment, and we usually can get someone in for an assessment from hearing from the school resource officer that same week, because we really want to get kids in services as quickly as possible. The other big thing that I just want to note on really quick is it's not a punitive program. A lot of these kids, they've made a mistake. They've done something wrong. We all have. So it doesn't focus a lot on what you've done wrong and hounding that into them. It's a really positive program and giving them the skills so that they can be successful in building these kids up, and that's what we want to focus on.
A lot of communities do not have this program. And part of the reason they don't have it is because their judges refuse to sign on to these things. They had to go through a lot to get our courts into this program. And they went and did that, so we really have to thank the judges too, because without the judges, this program wouldn't exist, so.
Thank you very much.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, any other questions? No? All right. I have a motion by trustee Frazier, supported by trustee Miller. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is item number 2, discussion on and to consider approval of an MOU with the Van Buren Public Schools.
To the chair.
Mr. Martin, trustee.
Make a motion, we approve the memorandum of understanding between the Charter Township of Van Buren and Van Buren Public Schools for a school resource officer.
Support.
Button. Okay. Could you, come forward and, I guess, talk about the fact that we've already worked this out, we've already talked about it, but now we have an MOU.
Yeah, so we have been in the process talking to the schools about how we're going to work the program. The school resource officer is really going to be utilized as a funnel for the diversionary program through GrowthWorks. Not only is his primary function, to facilitate, corroborate with the City of Belleville Police Department for school safety and, enhance a safe learning environment at Belleville High School, but he's also going to be used throughout the Van Buren Public Schools to be utilized as a resource for the teachers, for parents, for students, to facilitate the entry into GrowthWorks as needed. And the goal of this entire program is to try to identify, like Laura said, these issues when these kids are young and impressionable, and where we can kind of divert behavior before it becomes a bigger problem where they have to enter the criminal justice system. So,
Any questions? Okay, hearing no questions, I have a motion by trustee Martin and supported by treasurer Bud. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
thank you.
Next item is number 3, discussion on to consider approval of Community Services Deputy Director and Senior Program budget.
To the chair.
Yes, thank you.
Make the motion to consider approval of community service director, deputy director, and senior programmer budget and do budget amendments, personal service agreement for Tammy Doring and Ann Duncan.
Support.
Hey, Mr. Boynton. Director Sumter.
First, I would like to make a quick correction. Ann Duncan is not a new employee. She actually started with Van Buren Township June 13th, so this is an actual promotion for her. If you all approve the personal service agreement for her to move to this senior programmer. So I just wanted to correct that she is a current employee here. Both of these positions, I'm going to kind of take it in pieces. Both of the positions were brought to you during the budget hearing processes. So community service talked to you about the possible adding a deputy director and senior programmer. However, what is in your packet now, hopefully you had a chance to review it. You had both of the job descriptions. What we're asking tonight is to also approve the budget amendment to add that senior programmer into our budget. We're really just taking the previous position and just moving that amount over because we don't want to upset the budget process. So the amount of 55,478 will be just moved over to the senior programmer if so approved. The third part is what I'm actually very proud to announce again. We have two rising stars within Van Buren Township. One we all know and love who continuously moves up the ladder since she became the account clerk here. Just as she had 3 interviews before she got the job, now she is in her 3rd promotional position. And we are super glad to have Tammy. Everybody loves her energy, her smile, and her hard work ethic. With Ann Duncan, many of you don't know her, but I do have the privilege of knowing Ann and loved her from day one. She came to us from Wichita, Kansas, where she has a background in criminal justice, both a bachelor's and a master's degree. She served as the executive director for Sedgwick County, Kansas, as well as the reentry housing specialist for the DLC of Sedgwick County. Ann is very multifaceted. She knows how to do a lot of things, and what I love the most about her was she loves our seniors. So she is the perfect person for this senior programmer. She is good with technology, good with people, and I think everybody loves her. For the most part, we love her, yeah. So with that, I ask that you approve their personal service agreement, their job descriptions, as well as the budget amendment for the position of the senior programmer. And with that, I'll take any questions you may have.
She's from Kansas. What else? can we say?
I think their director wants to say something.
Nothing but
I'm
good
sorry.
since she's come in here as a part-time, right? She was, yeah. She's been great. I've been hearing nothing but wonderful comments from the seniors and from your director, and we're very happy. And Tammy, it's a long time. Clerk Wright?
Wait a minute. Elizabeth is going to say.
I don't have any questions.
I'll be quick. Director Sumter stole most of my thunder. But Anne joined the center as a member actually in March of 2022, and since then she's been an integral part of our senior center. So when she started coming, she loved it so much that she actually wanted to work for us, which was amazing. And then when this opportunity presented itself to move into the new position, she was excited at that opportunity to continue to serve our community seniors in a higher capacity. It's her mission to motivate and inspire others to keep moving, engage with one another, and spread kindness. She definitely has the heart for serving others, and she's excited to spend the last portion of her career working with our senior population. So super proud to have Anne join our team. Everyone does love her.
Okay.
I got one more. So Tammy Doring. It's emotional for me. So she's been an absolutely outstanding employee since she joined the Van Buren Township team in 2018. Like Nicole said, she worked up the ranks, and I honestly couldn't be prouder to present her for this deputy director position. In the past year, she has taken on a super high level of responsibility and stepped up to a level above her current position. In her new role, she'll be taking on a higher level of responsibility in the operation of our 4 departments, especially when it comes to the community center. Everyone that's worked alongside Tammy knows the value that she brings to our organization and our community. The level of professional integrity and professionalism she brings to the township is truly invaluable to us. She has an outstanding attitude and goes out of her way to help everyone. She joined our community services team in 2022, and I can't imagine our department operating without her at this point. I would say that she is the glue that holds our department together, but she's actually the sparkly glitter glue that holds our township department together. So I'm confident that Tammy will continue to represent the township and our community services team with the highest standards as deputy director. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, Elizabeth kind of just like took everything, my sparkle glitter. But again, with that, I'll take any questions that the board may have.
I don't have a question, I just have a comment. Okay. First, I hope the speaker's working because
It's kind of low.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I don't really know Ann Duncan, but she seemed to be a very pleasant young lady. But I do know Tammy Dorian, and well, some people may not know that Tammy interviewed with me for account clerk, and I said, and I didn't hire her, and I said because I told Matt, I said I have a candidate for you that's going to be, I want you to interview. What is that? I want a candidate I want you to interview because I saw potentials in Tammy then. She was very talented, and more than what I could. I mean, for the position that I had for account clerk, I saw that I knew that she would move up the ladder. She's a very personable, friendly, outgoing, everything that Elizabeth said. I mean,
Oh.
she's the type of, Tammy's the type of employee that goes the extra yard, and we talked about this in some of the meetings lately. When during the interviewing process we've been having and during negotiation that we're having, is you have employees that work and do the job and come to work and they're dependable. Then you have employees that work and do the job, come to work, and they're outgoing and looking for things to do. She not only does her job, she helps other people do their job. She volunteers for me. I mean, these are the kind of people that I just love to work with. So I had to say something because I think you're an extraordinary person and definitely an excellent employee.
Okay. Thank you.
Through the chair. I think I said to Nicole today, between her and Tammy, this place would look like something beyond believable with the way they decorate. If you go into the kitchen lounge, Nicole's got that decorated. When you go out of the building, excuse me, look at that tree in the lounge or in the hallway, because that's the one Tammy did, and it's beautiful. I could buy those decorations, but mine didn't ever look like that. And then sticking them things in there, it would look like I stuck them in there. So, ladies, we're glad you were aboard. Have fun, as we're going to have fun with you.
Okay. Just don't bedazzle my helmets. We got construction helmets around here. I go to grab one and it's got bedazzled all the way. All right. All right, well, okay, so let's continue on. Then we've got a motion by Clerk Wright and it's supported by Trustee Boynton. Hearing no further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Come on by and shake hands.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Come here. Yeah.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. No, it's okay. In case she has any questions. Thank you.
I know you work here. Now you're full-time.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Congratulations. Thrilled for you. Thank you.
All right.
That's what I said. I thought to myself, if I say anything, I'm gonna bust out crying. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna end on a good note.
Line item number 4, discussion on to consider approval of restoration paint for our 2008 fire truck.
Chair,
Mr. Boynton?
we approve of restoration paint work to a 2008 model year fire truck.
So what is this?
Ms. Trustee Merton. Okay.
It is.
Yeah, I gotta turn the course. I'm just kidding.
We got one truck left out there.
Fire truck, which is our oldest truck in the fleet, it's been identified for the last couple of years that it's needing some work on the vehicle. Our replacement plan has it scheduled for about 6 years out, so we need to do this to the truck to make it last. I have the money in my budget. Our normal vendor was about $2,000 higher. We were found another vendor that was able to do it that's reputable, that does fire trucks, and they can complete the work by the end of the year.
I guess our question, what exactly are they gonna do?
They're going to repaint the truck and take care of the surface rust that's on it, that's bubbling, that's going to affect the the stability structure of the vehicle over the next 6 years before we get rid of it. And it has the potential to help improve resale value when we do.
Through the chair.
Yes,
By the end of this year?
Yes.
Outstanding.
Yes.
That's why we ran it on. Take care of all, we got the money in that account.
This, an old truck? I mean, or,
An 8 is not an old
Yeah.
truck by fire department standards. I mean,
okay.
this truck was meant to last us 20 to 22 years
Oh.
old anyway, or 20, 22 years. And it's in a backup role right now, so this will definitely extend it out past that.
Is this usual wear and tear on a truck to have?
A lot of it is, but this was our first truck with aluminum body and so forth that was purchased. So, we're learning things from these vehicles, like when newer stuff comes out, paint and so forth, and how it works. And this one got used a lot when we first got it, and we've been extending it to this point by putting it in the reserve role with the smaller vehicles. It's our larger of our apparatus, so it gets used when another one goes down as a backup truck, and then does help count towards our ISO.
Through the chair.
Good.
I know you said it, but when is it due for replacement?
2027.
7.
2027, 2028. I have that long to go before I generate enough money back in the account to purchase the next truck. So that's why it's that long before we replace
I'm
it.
doing the addition for you onto this.
1,000 a year, we chase 2 price increases.
Yeah, but I
Yep.
think you were -50 last year now.
Yeah.
All right.
Through the
Anybody
chair.
else? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at my package and I see 2 invoices from 2 different repair places. I don't know, I see this one from Quality Collision Services. Now, what is that?
That is in Greenville.
Yes.
That's where the truck is sitting right now, awaiting your approval because they can do it. R&R, which is the normal vendor we use for stuff, was about $2,000 higher. And it's not something that unfortunately you can just take to a regular collision shop because most places aren't big enough to handle
Well,
it.
that was just a bid. That
Yeah.
was just these two items
It
I'm
was
looking
just
at
a
from 2 different
comparison,
places. These were
yeah.
just 2 different bids, right?
Correct,
Okay,
yes,
I
sir.
understand. All right.
Any further questions? I have a motion by trustee Boynton and also a motion by support with trustee Martin. Hearing no further questions, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is discussion, this is a second reading. I need somebody to read this.
I make the motion.
Okay, Clerk Wright,
What about the second? What's number 6? Is that first or
for
second?
number 5.
I'm trying to see, can we do them together? Are they first? Are they connected?
Can you read them together?
No.
Oh, those are not, that's
This one
different.
is-
Okay. I'm thinking about 6 and 7.
Okay.
To consider approval of the second reading of ordinance 11-15-22, parentheses 1, to rezone parcel 83008990002706 420600 Ecorse Road from MT Industrial Transportation to M2 General Industrial with conditions.
Okay.
Support.
Miller. Okay. Take it away, Director Power. Sorry.
You might recall that this is the second reading of a rezoning ordinance that the first reading was read and was approved on the November 15th board agenda. It related to the site that you see on the screen here. Kind of looking at that top image, the area in focus is the Ashley Crossroads North Industrial Park or Business Park. The Phase 1 project going involves some significant construction, over 1.5 million square feet of combined logistics and distribution, warehousing, and manufacturing buildings. There are 3 buildings that were originally envisioned as part of this project. In the third building, which is now under construction, it's about 660,000 square feet in area, was affiliated with that northernmost site. That site was split off, and it was then pursued by Our Next Energy, who has gone through a conditional rezoning agreement in conjunction with Ashley Crossroads North Distribution Center 6 LLC, which is the company that owns the property. And the purpose of doing this is to enable a zoning that accommodates the use that they want to have. This type of manufacturing is not something that was available in the underlying MT industrial transportation zoning, which was a zoning district that was meant more for trucking and warehousing. And this is, of course, more of a manufacturing use. So there was a conditional rezoning agreement with conditions that were offered by Ashley in conjunction with Our Next Energy that limited this to a very specific type of lithium-ion battery manufacturing use. It's really specifically a lithium iron phosphate battery, but it's a certain type of lithium-ion battery. And this will be a project that has that brings over 2,000 jobs to the township and quite a bit of investment. But the takeaway here is that the proposal is to specifically rezone the site in question, which is this 46-acre parcel that you see in the image on the top right and bottom left of your screen. So this is the second reading of this requested rezoning. I'm here to answer any questions if you have them.
Nope, I think that this is a, go ahead.
Who did you say was looking at this parcel? This Next Energy?
Yes, Our Next Energy will be the tenant that occupies the building. Ashley Crossroads.
What exactly do they do?
What does that company do? They're looking to manufacture batteries for electric vehicles, including cells. So this is the
One?
it's one, yes.
The same company.
Yep.
Same company?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Okay.
And this isn't harmful to our environment, is it?
Yeah.
We're not going to find out in 5 years, oh, by the way, those lithium batteries are poisoning our lakes,
Very good questions. We have looked at some of that as part of the initial submittals for the Planning Commission. And that's a good segue to say that there's significant work left to be done for the full site plan amendment that's going to be proposed with this, that the Planning Commission reviews and the permitting phase of the process. But the short answer is we've asked that question. There's specific compounds and chemicals like the electrolyte that are contained wholly indoors and recycled in the process. So there's I don't believe any air permits or anything that releases fumes as part of this process, and it's a very contained and recycled process inside of the building. So there's a lot of detail that I think one has about the processes they use. I do have Ken Bowen from Ashley here tonight. He's not with one, but I think between Ken and I and the one group, as we continue to go into the permitting conversations, we're glad to answer any detailed questions like that come up.
We also have our fire inspectors spending a lot of time on these plans too, so.
Yes.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Okay, I have a motion by Clerk Wright. I have support by Trustee Miller. This is a roll call vote. Clerk Wright, could you call the roll?
Yes. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Boyden? Yes. Trustee Martin?
Yes.
Trustee Frazier? Yes. Treasury Bud?
Yes.
Yes for me. Supervisor McNamara?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome. Build another one. $1.6 billion. You know, that's the bottom level now. We want better than that. Okay. Thanks. All right. We're talking about bundling 6 and 7 together. Trustee Miller, since these are the last of the day and the last ones you're going to ever make.
I will. Number 6 and 7, to consider approval of Resolution 2022-31, resolution for authorization Charter Township of Van Buren match for the French Landing Park accessible dock and kayak launch project. 7, to consider approval of Resolution 2022-32, resolution for authorization Charter Township of Van Buren match for the Van Buren Park Beach accessibility improvement project. Do I have a second?
Support.
Boynton, okay. Director?
Good evening again, Board. So the DNR Michigan Spark Grant Initiative is a $65 million grant program to help local communities that want to create, renovate, or redevelop public opportunities for residents and visitors, especially those whose economic opportunities and health were hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. So this program is administered by the DNR. The Michigan Spark Grant supports projects that provide safe, accessible public recreation facilities and spaces to improve people's health, introduce new recreation experiences, build on existing park infrastructure, and make it easier for people to enjoy both indoor and outdoor recreation. This grant opportunity is also possible because of the Building Michigan Together plan, which was signed in March of 2022, which included a historic infusion of federal funding in Michigan state and local parks. So there's 3 rounds of funding. The first one is $15 million during the week of January 30th, 2023. Round 2 is $25 million in spring of 23, and round 3 is $25 million in summer of 2023. So each entity is able to make 3 submissions between the combined 3 rounds. After looking over the actual requirements and the scoring sheets, discussing it with our department teams and township engineer who's assisting us on these projects, it was decided to submit our French Landing project during round 1 and Van Buren Park Beach project during the second round. Depending on the scoring of the first and second rounds, that's going to determine which project we think is best suited and will score the highest and make for a more successful grant award for the third submission. Each project is required to have a resolution approved by the board supporting the project and the township match. So that's what we're doing here tonight, presenting those 2 resolutions for approval. The first resolution, 2022-32, that's the resolution for authorizing of the Charter Township of Van Buren match for French Landing Park accessible dock and kayak launch. So this project was a part of the approved master plan that we've been working on as a township since 2019. It's also the final phase of the master plan, phase 1 and phase 2 occurring in 2021 and 2022. This project provides an ADA accessible kayak launch to be installed at the park and also a reconstructed accessible fishing dock. The project cost estimate for the dock and kayak launch is $659,645. We're applying for a $350,000 grant as part of the Spark program, which would leave $309,645 for the township match. This match would actually be reduced by our Wayne County millage grant, which is approximately $135,000 right now. So our township match would end up being about $174,000 for this project. So if awarded in round 1 or 2, this project would be constructed and built in 2023. It's essentially shovel ready. So is there any questions on that project at this time?
I just have one comment to make. You know, when I went through earlier meetings with you over this, I pushed for the dock and kayak launch, and I'm so glad, Director, that you listened to all of our concerns about having this dock and launch. So I appreciate that. It'll be great for our residents.
Absolutely. Be a great amenity.
Yep.
That place is looking really nice, French Landing Park.
In really
I like
good
the
shape.
fencing and. Okay.
Second one. So the second Spark grant is for the Van Buren Park Beach area. This includes improvements made to the access roadway, parking area, improved beach access, ADA compliant beach access, pathway improvements, retaining wall improvements, improvements to the actual beach area itself, fixing some erosion issues, and also landscaping screening for the existing lift station. The majority of these improvements are safety and or ADA related, which is really important to both us and the grant scoring. So that's a good thing. So the project cost estimate got all my papers mixed up. The project cost estimate is $867,000 in the total project cost. We're applying for $467,000 in matching funds, which would leave, sorry, I said that wrong. Let me restart. $867,000 for the project cost. We're applying for a grant, the Spark grant of $400,000, which leaves $460,000 in township match required. The idea for this one is that it would be a part of the potential revenue brought in by the U of M negotiation for that lease of the boathouse. So that's where we're planning on acquiring most of our match. Is there any questions on this one?
Just one, if I may. When is the contract for negotiation with U of M?
So we've actually been working on it for about a year. The actual contract, the lease is up in end of next year. Yeah, end of next year. But we've been in regular contact with U of M. The last time that we met, we told them our vision for the area, and we're working together. We needed to get a cost estimate for the project itself, which actually worked out really well because we were able to use it for the grant submission.
Okay, any other questions? It's just a dangerous peninsula. It's gotta be shored up. We're asking University of Michigan to help us out, and quite frankly, we saw the opportunity to get the state of Michigan involved too, so. And have U of M provide the match section, so it worked out. It will work out nice if they take it. Any questions? Okay.
It's a great opportunity for our residents, I think.
Yeah. I have a motion by trustee Miller, supported by trustee Boynton. Hearing no further questions, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Board.
Reports, we have none. Public comment for non-agenda items. Is anybody from the public that wishes to speak? Oh, Rosemary?
I'm Rosemary Otzman. My question is, how do we fill Reggie's seat?
I'm still in it.
State of Michigan states that that upon her letter of resignation, which she's got to give us, we have up to 45 days before she leaves and 30 days after she leaves. If anybody is interested, they should put in a request to the board, which they could do through the supervisor's office.
Supervisor, what type of qualifications or things are you looking for in a new trustee?
Anybody that applies would probably have to be considered because that'd be the only fair way to do it. But I would not consider personally anybody that didn't serve Van Buren Township in some way as either on a committee or extremely strong volunteerism. But without one of those two things, I would probably not even consider them personally. Just too many of those people that would like to do this, and they're quality people. There have been 3 or 4 quality people that have asked about the job.
How would they go about submitting?
They could submit an application request to the supervisor's office. The board's going to make the final determination, though, of how we do the pick, and I have asked the board to start thinking about it.
Okay. I'd like to just add that, Rosemary, this is a elected official position, so we're not hiring. So we really I don't have any recommendations. Based on who steps up and want to put their name in the hat, just like putting your name on the ballot. If you get required signatures, you can run for any office in this township. So anyone that thinks they're qualified to be the trustee of the township, they can send a letter to the supervisor, and based on the board determination, I think we're going to determine how we're going to do that, whether we do interviews or bring some candidates forth for interviews. But this is the people position. We just doing an appointment until the next election. It's not we're not hiring anyone, so,
Well, they'll serve for 2 years.
right.
Mm-hmm.
The state law states that we appoint someone to take that position until 2024, based on, on we following the guidelines that's presented, which is we have to put someone in place within 45 days of her resignation.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments?
You have a virtual hand raised from an attendee. Give me 1 second here. I have a virtual hand raised from Nicole. Nicole, I'm going to unmute your microphone in just a second here. Okay, Nicole, you're unmuted. Feel free to address the board.
Thank you so much for taking my comment. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm calling in from the Fair Housing Center of Metropolitan Detroit, and I just wanted to call in and let you and the citizens of Van Buren Township know that we are here, that we are serving the citizens and the community. What we do is we deal with discrimination in housing and complaints that people may have if they are facing discrimination in housing. We like to answer questions from residents, assist them with any complaints, and we also provide training to housing providers, to realtors, and to landlords and management companies so they can ensure that they are compliant with fair housing laws. We serve Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties and all of their residents. If anybody has any questions, would like to learn more about the Fair Housing Center, we invite you to visit our website at fairhousingdetroit.org. Or you can give our office a call at 313-579-FAIR, which is 313-579-3247. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole, for your comment.
Okay. Anybody else?
I have no other virtual comments from our public participation link.
Any comments from the board? Hearing none. Trustee Miller?
No.
Mr. Miller, would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
In her place, and sorry that she won't be able to make another motion. I would make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Boynton? All right, we have a motion and support. All in favor for adjournment? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you. There you go.
We had fun.
Yeah.
10 years went by really fast, Sharon.
I am going to
didn't it?
need that
Yeah, they did.
letter.
God.